Good morning, good afternoon, EXP agents. Appreciate you joining me, depending on where you're at there. Good morning or good afternoon. But I just wanted to say welcome and joining us this Wednesday. I also have Jason Selecki, who's one of our senior onboarding specialists here at Lofty. Ton of product knowledge. You may recognize him. He's been on a few of these trainings with us for EXP and more recently gotten into some things around websites. So we're going to do the same today. There's been a lot of questions from EXP agents around websites and how these function, how these work. And so today in this particular training, feel free to drop questions within EXP World or in YouTube. If you have questions, drop those in the chat. Jason's going to be taking us through basically through websites again. There's quite a bit to cover, quite a bit that he goes through in this particular training. So just definitely, take note, take reference to things he's touching on and ask questions as you go through it, and also know that this will be a recording that is available to you as well on YouTube after the fact. So Jason, thanks so much again for joining us. Appreciate you jumping in and helping out here with these trainings. EXP agents have been getting a lot of value from them thus far, and so appreciate you joining me again. I will likely turn off my camera and my mic while you're presenting, and then just kind of pop in as questions may arise that we want to kind of verbally address to you, Jason. So.
Perfect. And Wilson, feel free to interrupt me if there's some questions out there. I'd love to answer those questions as well.
Okay, perfect.
Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, as Wilson identified. My name is Jason. We're going to take you through the website training. A few things I should point out before we start. That is, for the most part, this website's already complete. I mean, it's like 90% complete. It's a template-based product. We load up all kinds of pages for you. We give you a lot of flexibility. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 things you must do to make your website look professional as it lands in your account. But we'll also show you how to make changes, simple changes. Everything's really easy. So let's go ahead and begin. Now, I'm starting from our CRM default page, the dashboard. This is the page you should be seeing when you sign into your Lofty account. Up above is the menu bar. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on Website. Now, it's not going to take us directly into the website dashboard. It's going to take us to a transitional page called Site List. On this page, there's a few things I want to bring to your attention. First and most important is Lofty will create a temporary domain for you to complete your website on. This is important for this reason. You do not want to configure your domain to your website until it's complete. You don't want somebody coming to your brand and seeing an incomplete website. So that's why this temporary domain is here. It'll allow you to make all the changes you need to make, complete the website, and then once it's completed, you can reach back out to our tech support team for assistance on that. The other thing I want to bring out to your attention is this create agent websites. So company owners, you have control of the company website. If you have added agents on your team, they can create free agent websites. Quite honestly, these are just subdomains of this website. They're going to be clones of this website as well. Although the agents do have some control, they'll be able to put their own contact information in. They'll be able to link their own social media connections or links. And then last but not least, if they choose to, they can narrow down the listings by using filters. All right, so the way we're going to get to our dashboard is whatever domain is here, go ahead and click on it. And our CMS dashboard, CMS standing for Content Management System, that's what all website editors call themselves, just like a word processor or spreadsheet. We're in the dashboard, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take you through settings, and then we'll come into the actual tool itself and review some things there. Before I start, just one last thing. This dashboard is interactive, and from time to time, it'll remind you of things that are still incomplete. Those things may be purposely incomplete, or you may have chosen not to do them. Don't consider those recommendations a requirement. You can simply ignore a recommendation we make if you're choosing not to do something. All right, so let's click on Settings. When we click on Settings, we're going to open up our menu bar on the left-hand side. It's a vertical menu. The first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is check your domain. Please check the spelling of it, make sure that it's correct. If it's not, you can go ahead and hit Edit, or if for some reason you've chosen a different final domain and you want to change it out, you're going to hit Edit and change it. Now, when you hit edit and make your changes, that will send a notice to our MLS support team. There may be further tasks or processes you need to complete because of that name change. They'll reach out to you and let you know. Favicon. Favicon is the graph that goes up in the tab browsers, whether your clients are using Chrome or Safari or Bing or Mozilla Firefox, doesn't matter. We can insert a graphic in those tab browsers. It's important because that reinforces your brand. It shows people the most important tab that's open if they have multiple tabs open. So I have a sample favicon here, but what you would do is you'd click add or edit here. You click the add button. It's going to pull up for you a prompt for you to upload your corporate logo. When you upload your corporate logo, you're going to get a very simple square editor. It'll be blue. You'll have a chance to increase or decrease the size of your image so it fits inside that square tightly. Center it, hit add or save and complete, and you have a favicon. Let's drop into organization information. I want to specifically talk about agents here. Again, if you're adding a team, you hopefully have added them already to the CRM by this time. If you've added them to the CRM, there's no reason for you to manually add them to the website. You can pull over their information by hitting this button, import from CRM. When you click on it, it'll have all your team members listed. Simply choose them and hit yes, and their information and profile information will come over and settle into the website. Now, that's true 3 months from now or 6 months from now. You've been using Lofty. It's going to bring you a lot of success. Maybe you need to increase your staff. If you add somebody new to the team, you're going to do the same thing 3 months from now. Next to that is a display only. There's 2 reasons for this button. If you have somebody on your team that's an integral part of the team, but doesn't require a seat on the CRM, then you can create a website profile for them and introduce them as a team member with your other agents and team members. Simply type in their name, their contact information, upload an image, and save. I also suggest using the display only for this purpose. In a lot of instances, you'll find that, well, in all instances, you'll find that your website's branded with the company owner's name, first and last. In some instances, that works fine. In other instances, people would prefer the company name there instead of their name. So if you click display only, what you can do is you can create a profile for your company. Simply break up the company name between first and last name. For instance, ABC for first name, Realty for last name. I'll insert my general email address, info@abcrealty.com, and a general phone number, and upload my logo. And as you can see here, that's exactly what I did. And if I click on the edit button, you can see how I added that information. Once you add it and you create that profile, when you're in the website and you see your name and you want to make that switch, there will be an edit button in that location or near that area. You can simply hit edit and swap out the company name for your name. All right, let's move on. We're going to drop down into lead capture. Now, this also has very important information. This is how you capture names off your website. We have it set up so that it appears on listings, and we have it set at a higher conversion. Let me break that down a little bit. Somebody's on a listings page to see multiple listings. They click on one specific listing to get detail. When they do, this higher conversion strategy will pop up that window at this time before they can review any information. It will require them to fill out their name, email, and phone number and register with your website. Now, a few things. The listings pages is the best strategic place for this pop-up window, and higher conversion is the best strategy, especially if you're doing lead generation or plan to do lead generation, or you're spending a lot of time in social media driving people to the website. You want to be assertive. You want to grab that name right up front. Giving them a listing or two to look at before they give you that name is not going to make any difference statistically. So grab that name right up front. However, I will show you If you want to be a little more casual about it, maybe you're not doing lead generation, maybe you're not sending anybody to your website, maybe you're kind of using it as an electronic business card or where people can find out information about you and look at listings. You can slow that down. You can click custom and you can choose the number of listings they can view until that window pops up, or you can just turn it off completely. I don't recommend this, but it's there. I want to give you that information. You can also base it on trigger time, so they can we measure in seconds. So if you set this to 90 to 150 seconds, that's probably the right amount of time. But again, let me say it one more time. I strongly recommend higher conversion. All right, once you choose your strategy for the pop-up window, let's take a look at 3 different styles of pop-up windows to choose from. Now, we default this to the single column. And the way that the single column works is that it's going to collect those 3 pieces of information one piece at a time. So they're going to put their name in and hit continue, email continue. Finally, they'll enter their phone. They'll consent to being contacted and hit finished. So that is the single column. The 2 columns works the same exact way. They're going to filter through it 3 times. However, the 2 columns is a bigger footprint. And in that additional space, we give them the benefits of registration. Personally, I think this is the best foot forward. This is the best way to go. I will show you the third. It's 1 step. It's all 3 fields together. They fill it out. They agree to be contacted, and they hit unfinished. Go ahead and choose the one that works best for you. Let me just say this, however, when they hit finish, they're truly not. There is going to be one last step. It's a questionnaire settings. And we have 2 different levels. We have 2 different versions. We have a buyer version, a seller version. Now remember, we've defaulted this pop-up window, this initial pop-up window to show up on listings. We can assume that those people are buyers. If you are chasing sellers and you want to collect sellers, you can again move that pop-up window to a different page. You can have a pop-up on your home page. I don't know if that would identify sellers or not, but you could definitely have a pop-up on a home valuation or another page specified for sellers. And you would just choose that box instead. Now, a few things about using this box. Remember, we've just captured their information. They are now a lead of yours. They're in your CRM. This pop-up window, this last step, is your first interaction with them. Even if it is automatic, this is your first impression on them. These questions are entered in here and they're required. So what I would suggest is let's soften this a little bit. If they decide not to answer these questions, you don't want to upset them or annoy them right off the bat. So I'm going to suggest to allow them to close that window by putting the X up in the top right. If they choose not to answer these questions at this time, give them that out. I would also suggest looking at the questions. Maybe if you eliminate 1 or 2 questions here, you might get them to answer the remaining questions. Now, after I've given you that advice, let me just say this. These questions are helpful. They're part of the lofty logic. These are questions that will help you qualify your leads. They're important to get. However, there's other ways that you can gather this information through your own communications. I'll still say it, in the smart plans, we have conditional questions that will address these questions. And probably most important and the most efficient way to do it is you can assign your AI assistant to these leads that haven't had answered these questions, and the AI assistant will get these answers for you as well. All right, let's move on. We are going to drop into the chat box settings. Now, the chat box settings are part of lead capture, but we do not control this chat box here in the CMS website tool dashboard. We control it over in the CRM. When I clicked on website, I opened up a whole new tab. So my CRM is still open. I'm going to jump over there. I'm going to click into settings. I need to be on company settings. So I need to be the company owner or owner administrator. And when I click into AI Assistant, it's going to pull up this page and I can review those settings here. Now, some best practices. Initially, the company owner's profile is going to default to that chat box. It won't be added here, but it'll default to the chat box. And the AI assistant name defaults to the name Anna. So if I had not made any changes in the chat box, it would show my profile, but the name Anna. And I don't sound or look like Anna, at least I don't think so. So that's why I changed to Jason. However, if you have a team, well, first of all, if you're a single person, your name is perfect. If you have a team, I don't suggest using the company owner's name, because if your team does set up those agent websites, this is the same chat box that will be used there, and having the company owner's name inserted into the agent's website causes confusion and frustration. So use a neutral name instead. You can use Anna and just upload an image of what Anna would look like. You can put your corporate company name here and maybe your company logo. That would work. I even suggest, and I actually had somebody funny take me up on it. I saw it this week. Robbie the Robot Realtor, and put an image of a robot up here. All right, let's go back to the CMS dashboard. All right, we're going to drop down into tools. And here in tools, we got a few things we want to cover. Probably most important is integrations. Lofty gives you the opportunity to integrate these 9 applications into your website. They all have different functions based on what they are. Google My Business is probably most popular. It'll get you leads. Google will be sending you leads by making that connection. And in addition to that, you can stream in your Google reviews automatically. Pixel, Facebook Pixel is specifically for business pages. We do not connect to personal pages. And setting up the Facebook Pixel will allow customers to go back and forth between their Facebook business page and your website. This setup is a little bit different. You're going to use a Pixel ID, basically a snippet of code. We do not supply that snippet of code. You're going to have to get it from Facebook. Go to your Facebook business page settings, and it'll be posted there. Wilson, sounds like there might be a question or two.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jason. One just came in through EXP World from Stacy. She said, "Is there a way to disable the pop-up when trying to view edited pages from the admin?"
So see if I can put that all together. You can turn it off while you're editing it. It's not going to pop up in the CMS editor tool. However, when we get to the tool, I'm going to show you where you can review changes in your website on the actual internet. And you can disable it for a short period of time, then turn it back on. Let's go in and just take a quick look. Oops, wrong one. If I hit custom, I can close it off for, prior to registration. So I can turn it off and make my changes if it's in the way and popping up, or maybe this might be a better way, never trigger pop up. And then you can come back and turn it back on after you've made your changes. Okay. Is there another question?
Yeah, just one other one that come in here. Does my website automatically update with MLS listings?
Yeah, it does. So I usually don't cover that. Most people have their MLS listings active by this point. But if I come up to the dashboard and click on the listings, this is where I can see that my MLSs are active. The way I like to explain that is that your website is going to blow up like one of those bounce houses that you rent for your kids' birthday parties. It's just going to fill in everywhere automatically. So it's going to fill in the listings, the featured areas, all kinds of different items. You do have control, and you can make those filters a little bit different. But yes, your MLS, once it's in your system, makes your website very active.
Perfect. Thank you, Jason. That's it for questions as of right now.
All right, let's go back to where we were. I think I pretty much covered everything in the integrations. There are different ways to integrate these products, and again, they have different applications. Let's jump into header meta tags. I call this SEO Lite. There are 2 other areas for SEO on the website. I'll cover both of those as well. But the header meta tags are keywords you put into your header so it goes across the entire website. The keywords are not seen by your customers or your clients. They're actually seen and only seen by the search engines that come crawling through. These keywords will help you and give you a lift when somebody's searching for a real estate agent in the communities that you service. It'll give that search, give you a higher ranking on that search, so to speak. Keywords that I suggest would be company name, company owner name, agents' names, and then the communities that you service. You have 1,000 characters to enter these names or these keywords. A keyword isn't one specific word. It can be a keyword phrase. For instance, if I put my name in, I would put my first and last name with that space in, as I have my whole life. And to separate from the next keyword, I'd put a simple comma and a space and then my next keyword. So go ahead, load up your keywords. Please check the spelling before you hit save. Once you hit save, that all turns to code, and you won't be able to make any changes unless you redo the whole thing. That's it on tools that I'm going to cover. Let's go ahead and jump up into the actual back to the dashboard, and we're going to go back into the editor tool itself. Now, I can enter the editor tool 2 ways. I can hover over the thumbnail of my website and click Edit Website, or I can click the editor button here, and it's going to open up the CMS tool for me. Now, before we actually get into how to make changes, what I want to do is I want to explain this navigational bar to you. Some of this may be repetitive to those who have edited or used WordSite or website templates before, but I want to start on this navigational bar with the Publish button. This throws a lot of people off because of the word publish, and unfortunately all website editors or CMS tools use that word publish. It probably started in the 90s somewhere, and I'm sure somebody wished they could change it. What happens is people get intimidated. They believe that when they hit publish, the whole world will be able to see their website, so they're apt not to hit it. Unfortunately, though, you should, and this is how you save incremental changes. Are you publishing to the world? Yeah, you are. Can they see it? They shouldn't. Remember, we have it on that temporary domain that nobody will find. So you're fine to go ahead and hit publish. I'm going to demonstrate how to use and how this works. So let's say that I wanted to punch up my title here in my hero block. And by the way, the hero block we consider to be the most important piece of real estate on your whole website. I'm going to hit the edit button on that block. I'm going to go to content where my header is, and I'm going to insert a word or 2. All right, we're really, really great real estate agents. I like it, it's catchy. Look what happened to my publish button. It became bright blue, which means it's ready to save that change. Now, before I save it, because I like this, I want to show you these 2 toggle arrows. These allow you to go back and forth from changes you've made that are not saved. So if I hit the back button, I can take this back to what it was, and I hit the forward button, I can see what I'm changing it to. I can measure my change and really make sure that I want to do that. And you know what? I do, so I'm going to hit publish. All right, what makes that publish button even more confusing is right next to it is a save button. Jason, what's that all about? Well, this also is important. This is to save the entire website for catastrophic purposes. If I come in here, I can save a version of this. You definitely want to do this once your website is completed, save it as a final version, but you also might want to save in progress versions of this. So at the end of the day, when you're still working on your website, save the changes you made that day. Again, in case something happens, you can always just click save version and restore whatever was taken away. I've never seen this happen. It's really an insurance policy. I hope you never have to use it, but it's there in case you do. This button is to create QR codes, and it's by the page that you're on. These 2 buttons are to view your changes, as I was explaining. in the actual internet. Now remember, we're making our changes in a tool. We have a pretty good idea of what our website's going to look like, but not exactly. So if I click on the atlas, it's going to open up a new tab, and it's going to bring me to the internet and show me what my customers will see when they come to my website. And you can see it does look a little bit different. So I definitely want to, after making a few changes from time to time, I want to kind of mosey over to the internet and see what my changes look like to people. I can do the same thing with the eyeball. The difference is it opens up that view in the same tab that I'm in, and I just hit back to edit. Now, these two buttons are effectively for the same thing. Believe it or not, when you're building out your website or completing it, you're building or completing two versions. We have the defaulted desktop version, and we have the mobile version as well. And I want to click on the mobile version because changes I make to my desktop may not look so well on the mobile version. And now that I'm clicking into this, and I'm seeing that change I made a little while ago, I don't like it anymore because on the mobile version, it looks like a paragraph. It's going across 3 lines. I'm going to change that back. I can go back to the desktop and do it, or I've got that edit button right here in the mobile version. Let's just change it right here. And again, I'm going to go to content, and I'm just going to remove those 2 words I put in before. And hit publish, and it's saved. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but if you saw, I actually have 2 different pictures on one for my desktop and one for my mobile version. And the reason every image that you have on the website, you can put a different image in for the mobile version. And the reason for that is you have 2 distinct types of orientations. You have a very landscape orientation on the desktop. You have a very portrait orientation on the mobile version. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the desktop. Also, right next to this is a setting for the page width. And you can do this both on the desktop and the mobile version. I suggest using our default settings, 1920 for the desktop, and I think it's 375 for the mobile. And there is a little bugaboo here. If I go back to the desktop, you're going to see it changes the setting, but we want that on 1920. Now, I am going to make this recommendation. I know Google tracks this business, this information. I'm sure other people do as well. You could probably do a search. I would use an AI generated search. And I would ask them, what's the most popular appliances in the location, the region that you are? And you may find that your screen size might be a little bit different on popularity. And if that's the case, you can make these changes. All right. Okay, that's the navigation. I want you to be aware of how to move around. What we're going to do next is we're going to move to the main menu. The main menu is a vertical menu bar on the far left. It's very narrow. If you blink, you might miss it. Be careful. It's made up of 4 icons. We're going to start on the lower end and work up our way to the top.
Jason, do you mind if we jump on a few quick questions?
No, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it. Erin had a few that she dropped into eXp. She said, I have a domain I purchased from Bluehost. Can I use it for my Lofty website?
Absolutely.
If so, is there an additional cost?
There is not. So, Erin, that's a great question. Again, when we opened up this this dashboard, we're on the site list page, the transitional page. There you have a temporary domain. Do yourself a favor, complete your website build first. And there's 2 ways that you can go about getting your domain configured to the Lofty website. You can do it yourself. If I go back to the CRM, I can open up my resources. I can view an article, and we'll give you the IP addresses, the other DNS settings that you need to add. I don't recommend that. For brainiacs or people that have that experience, it's easy. If you don't, here's my suggestion. Again, go back to the Resource Center, open up a chat with our tech support team, let them know that you need help with configuration. They'll be glad to assist you with that, okay?
Awesome. One other question she has said, if SEO is an add-on feature, so I think this one's more around just wondering kind of the difference between the basic IDX site versus the full agent site plus SEO. She says if SEO is an add-on feature, what SEO options are there without
Yeah,
the added? Yeah.
yeah, we're going to get into SEO. In fact, that's my next step here. We're going to open up this button. I'm going to explain SEO.
Perfect.
Our SEO is not an upgrade. It's but you can upgrade to our third-party group that we work with, Yoast. So, do you mind if I just go ahead and go forward, or are there other questions I should answer first?
The one quick last one I wanted to just get for Erin. She said, "Is the blog feature included?" And she was wondering if that's included in the basic IDX website, the blog capabilities.
Yes. Now, when she says basic, I just want to go back. I'm going to go back to this has to be a company site. It has to be the main website for blogs and SEO. The agent websites, if that's what she's working with, that domain is going to be set up automatically when your company owner configures his domain to the website. But if you're working with a company website, the one that I'm working with here, blog is available at no additional charge. SEO is available at no additional charge. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I believe so. I
Okay.
appreciate it, Jason. Thank you.
All right. All right, let's continue. SEO. All right, so the first thing I want to say about SEO is it's organic. If you try to be specific and get to yes and no on your SEO, you're going to drive yourself crazy. I want to give you a little bit of background on what SEO is. It's quite different than what it was 15 years ago. Effectively, what SEO is today is search engines are in the business of serving information. They want to put their best foot forward. If they're looking at two websites that offer the same service, they're going to feel more comfortable with the website that kind of caters to what they're looking for. And that's all SEO is. We're just taking measurement of what those search engines are looking for, and we'll give you a higher ranking or have your website served more often. Okay. So with that said, this is the second portion of SEO. We've covered SEO and header meta tags and settings. This is the second one. This is an amazing tool because it really breaks down exactly what's going on by page. However, there's only one or two pages I want you to use this on, and I'll explain in a moment. We use a third-party partner, Yoast. If I click on this, it's going to give me image alt attributes, and more than likely, it's going to give me an article created by Yoast explaining what alt text and alt images are. You can review this, and hopefully we give you the proper direction to make the changes that are required. In some instances, if I click on a change, I might get an actual, no, in this case, I'm just getting articles as well. I have seen where we actually give you a specific suggestion. Maybe this is it. Keyword, click to improve. And here what it's doing, it's giving me ways to improve my hero block. It's saying this would be a better title, this would be a better subtitle. And I'm offering more information. I can also click on some additional information here, and again, that will bring me to an article. So again, your approach should be organic. You can't make it exact. Improve it as much as possible in the sense that it is organic and it's a constant moving target, a very slow moving one at that. 8 months from now or a year from now, you might want to come back in and just make sure your SEO is still updated because the search engines will shift. They'll be looking for different things that that will trigger it. Now, I had mentioned you only want to use this on 1 or 2 pages, definitely the home page, because you are adding a lot of content and control that page. You also, in the About Us folder, there are 2 pages there you might want to use it on. I'm actually going to suggest you only use one of those pages. So the one page you keep there, you'd want to use it on that page as well. And again, that's because you're putting a lot of content in here. Now, a lot of the other pages, Lofty controls those. Market Snapshot, the listings pages, the home valuation. We control the majority of that information. We are already putting our best foot forward in reference to SEO. So curtail this tool to homepage and whatever page you're using in the About Us folder. I'll address that later. All right, let's keep moving. Templates or style. Everybody always asks me, Jason, can I change my template? Yeah, you can, but you're going to be disappointed if you do most often. People change it because they like different pictures or images in here. And unfortunately, once you upload your website or your template, we lock down the information and the data and the images that are in there. So when you change to get this image, you're still going to get this image after you changed your template. Keep in mind also that you're changing a template, and we have 20, 30 pages in here, or that's an exaggeration. We have 12 to 15 pages that we've already created for you. So you're not seeing all those pages and how those change. The only reason I can think of, the valid reason I can think of for changing your template is you are looking at your website and you say, gosh, that's awfully dark. I would like to lighten it up a little bit. Choose a template that's a little bit lighter and keep moving forward. I prefer that if you want to make changes, universal changes on your website, instead of changing the template, come into the theme where you have control universally of title size and color, button style, and you on a universal level can change your font as well. All right, these are the last two buttons. These are pages and blocks. How am I doing on time? Okay, I'm running a little bit behind. So these are the heart and soul of your website. This is where everything happens. This is Control Center. If I click into pages, as I just mentioned, look at all the pages we have listed in here for you. These are pages we've all created that are already part of your website. This is displayed navigation. This means this is the pages people can see. And as you can see, it syncs up with your menu. Home page, home, link, buy folder, buy, sell, sell. If I wanted to do something like change the order, change the order of my buy and sell folder, I can simply grab my sell folder, drag it above my buy folder, and it changes here on my menu as well. So you have full control over the location of these pages and if they show or not. Now this is displayed navigation. Below display navigation, I have hidden navigation. This too is part of your website. It's all connected. Think of an iceberg. Display navigation is the portion of the iceberg above sea level. Hidden navigation is the portion below sea level nobody can see, but it's all one piece. Hit publish. So what are the reasons for hidden navigation, Jason? Great question. We might use it for page storage. We might use it, Lofty uses it to add detail to pages people click on. We'll have additional pages and detail popping out. It might be a page that you want people to get to, have access to, but you just don't want part of your showing website. So you're going to use a little what we call a call to action or a jump or a link. On this button here, I can set it up and link it up to pages that are in my hidden navigation. Or I might have recruiting pages in here, and I definitely don't want anyone coming to my website clicking on a link or seeing it in my menu. So I can create a recruiting page here with a simple application, and I can just distribute out that URL by email or text and have potential candidates get to that website or that URL page that way. All right, so let's talk about making changes to the website. By the way, the one area I didn't show you is blocks. Before I go forward, I just want to point out all our pages are made up of a series of blocks. So the website is made up of pages. The pages are made up of blocks. Think of Legos where you're just building on top of one another. I can move and change any page. I can move and change any block. All right, so let's look at how we can update and change our website. Let's start with this calculator page that's in hidden navigation or storage. I'm going to grab it and just drop it into display navigation and watch what happens to my menu. It now is part of my website and is now in my menu. Now, personally, between you and I don't know that I'd want a home mortgage calculator page to take up a link in my menu, but I might take this and I might grab it and drop it into my buy folder. Let's save that change. Let's go to the internet. Let's open up our folder. There's that calculator page. And in this, literally in seconds, I've added this whole page to my website. And you've seen these before, the basic mortgage calculators, okay? Now, what if you wanted to add a page that didn't exist it wasn't created already in storage? Well, you can come down here, you can click Add Page, and we have all kinds of different templates set up for you to add any type of page that you want to. Most of these pages are in here already, but maybe you have a better idea how to do it, or maybe you wanted an update. For instance, a year from now, you might want a different home page. So you can click on a home page, keep it in hidden navigation, no one will see it, make all the changes, give yourself a facelift, and when it's completed, just simply swap out the old home page for the new home page. Besides all the templates we have here, you also have a blank page where you can just, from scratch, we'll put a header and a footer in there, and you can even choose to remove those if you choose and create your own blank page and pull in your own blocks. Or you can click on link and you can pull in and link a page that exists elsewhere on the internet and pull it into your website. All right, I'm going to do a demonstration. What I'm going to do is in neighborhoods here, this is a folder that's in my display navigation. And it seems like I might have misled you. It's not showing up in my menu. And the reason is it doesn't have content. It doesn't have pages in it. So we're going to add some pages here, and we're going to add some communities into our neighborhoods. I'm going to show you how simple this is. Now, before I do that, I have to go back to my dashboard. I have to click into my areas and make sure that I have areas that can be featured. And when I click on here, why, yes, I do. I can put cities in and I can put neighborhoods and subdivisions in. Let me show you how simple it is to add an area. I'm going to click Add Area. Let's add a neighborhood because that's the page we're on. The other areas that I have, featured areas I have in here are subdivisions, neighborhoods in San Diego County, San Diego City proper. And I'm going to have a choice of either adding the subdivision or the neighborhood. There is a difference here. One is based on census and one is based on zip codes. I think subdivision is zip codes, but I don't know for sure. So let's just pretend that it is. When I click on the subdivision, it pulls up the area. That is what I'm looking for. I hit save. And eventually it will post in my areas. I need 3 linked pages here. We rely heavily on the MLS and a third-party tool that we have incorporated into our system. If there are not 3 linked pages here, it will not show in my website. That's not a permanent issue. Down the road, there may be additional information gathered, and a 2-link page or a featured area may get that 3rd link, and you can use it. Let's do a city as well. Let's add a city, and the cities I have here are cities in North San Diego County on the coast. So we're going to add a city, a favorite of mine, Solana Beach. There it is. I click on it. Again, it gives me the map. I hit save. And there it is, 3 links. All right, now that we have our area set up, 2 things. Throw in as many areas as you want. Load up your areas. I don't know if you'll hit a wall sooner or later. Maybe if you get past 80 or 90, you might. But load up as many areas as you want. That's not an issue. However, my recommendation, my best practice is if you're going to use featured areas, don't drop in 20 or 30 pages. Keep it to a minimum of 4 to 6. Make it locations that you have an expertise in, there's a lot of activity in, or interest. Don't load up 20 different pages. But I'm going to demonstrate now how to add pages. I'm going to go back to my neighborhoods folder that's empty. If I hover over it, I get that plus sign. It opens up my add page template. I'm going to do featured areas. We have different templates that we use. Let's use this one. I simply hit next, and then I get to choose my areas. Now, since these are neighborhoods, I'm going to load it up with 3 or 4 of my subdivisions based in San Diego. And when I hit save, it has created 4 pages for me in my neighborhoods. And I'm going to go back to the home page, hit save or publish. Let's come back and take a look and see what that looks like. So here's my neighborhoods. Oops. Let's hit the internet. Here's my neighborhoods. I'm going to click in the Linda Vista. That's the one we added. Now I have limitations on the MLS I have connected, but this page, and you'll see it in the cities, that pops up a little bit better. You'll get an introduction to Linda Vista. You'll get recent current listings. You'll get recent sold listings. You'll get all kinds of information, demographics, and it's a full page. Again, unfortunately, my MLS has curtailed to some degree. But let's go do that same thing another way. Let's go back to the home page. Let's insert that box I just deleted, which I meant to do earlier. And let me demonstrate how to use blocks. So what I can do is I can choose where that block is going to be inserted, and I can click Add Block here, or I can simply just go to the block and I can just grab it and add it. Let's do that. Now, when I add the blocks, they have an intelligence that will pick up the featured areas that I've created already. Not necessarily the ones I want to use, so I'm going to hit the Edit button, and I'm going to click on Add an Area. And since I used neighborhoods and subdivisions up on the menu, let's use those North County, San Diego cities. So I'm going to use Solana Beach, Encinitas, we'll throw Cardiff in there. Is there one more we want to use? Yeah, Del Mar. And again, I'm going to hit save. And now our block is updated. Now I can go in, I can edit these blocks. When somebody comes to my website and they click on this block, they're going to come to a specific page. I think I have time to show you, but what I want to show you first, maybe more important, is you want to dress these up with community images that entice or enhance people to click into it. So let's say Cardiff had a historic theater. What I can do is I can click on upload an image. I'm going to go find that image in my here's that historic theater. It actually isn't in Cardiff, it's in San Francisco. But it makes a great demonstration. And when I add it and save it, it's going to insert itself here. And again, I'm going to load these up with community shots. If I wanted this up front, I can just simply grab this and drop it into the first place, and it's going to move where the box is. Let's publish this. Let's save it. Let's go to our internet. And when we click on Cardiff, what happens? I just want to show you the type of page it's going to open. Again, it's going to be very similar to what we had before. It's going to have a simple introduction. It's going to have this information in reference to real estate information recently sold. Again, I have a very limited MLS, so it's not showing all the information. Market trends, housing detail, nearby locations, commute score, temp. All right. I've got about 5 minutes to finish this up. Wilson, any questions that I need to address?
Hey, sorry, Jason. I don't think so. We've had a few questions in EXP world that have come up, and Katie's been good about answering those. Katie Van Ness is one of our lofty advocates, strong user at EXP. So perfect. I think we're good to go. Appreciate it, Jason.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to blocks now. I'm going to just give you an idea of different blocks you can use, and then I'm going to show you 4 changes you must make on your website. So the blocks that I want to introduce to you would be agent. This is a way to introduce your team. And as I click on the block name, you'll see that I have tons of different blocks I can use for different views and different feelings. Reviews also very important. You want people to know all the great things people have said about you. We have multiple templates here. I don't think it's a bad idea to have your reviews in 2 or 3 locations. We do have a page called reviews, but not a bad idea to put a block inside your homepage for reviews. Featured areas, we showed that already, but look at all the different templates we have. In content, I love these two. Media, if I need to insert a library of images or videos, or for storytelling, my content. I have all kinds of different ways to tell a story, before and after here, different looks, different views, different settings, different columns, cascading. I have a 3-panel, 4-panel, all kinds of different ways to tell stories or promote an idea or a thought. Call to action, we kind of touched on. That is creating links inside your website to take them to other pages. I have call to actions that have 3 different call to actions or single call to actions. Listings, love listings, love, love, love. And we have all kinds of different ways to show and promote your listings. You can put filters on here so you can identify specific types of homes or prices of homes. Like if I want exclusive homes, I can put a filter on there only to show homes that list for $2 million or more. Maybe that's going to be a specific area. I can narrow down with filters and create different stories with my listings. Last one that I like to show is the forms. Did I skip over it? Here it is, form. This is a very important tool. I have one set in my website already. This is how you can gather information and opportunities. People can fill this out and send you a message, and you'll get an activity and they'll be added to your CRM. I want to show you a few things on this, and then we'll go to those 4 things you need to know. On the form, you can change the order of the field. We default the name the wrong way. I'll just be right honest with you. If you use a form, please open the field, click on the edit button, and make sure you're using first and last name and it's required. Our default is full name. And if you're using full name, somebody can just put Joe or Steven here and not enter their last name. So make sure you have both fields in there. You can also identify the lead type. So you can skew this instead of get more information, get a free buyer's hand guide, get a free webinar for sellers, and you can identify the type of lead that you're trying to identify. You can also add a predetermined tag on that so that when it goes to the CRM, you have a tag on there. I would probably create a tag, homepage, get more information, or buyer selling guide, so that I know exactly how that lead came into my account. All right, let me go through my 4 changes. These are 4 changes that if you make them, you'll have a professional website and you'll be good to go. Let's start on the homepage where 3 of the 4 are reside. We're going to start with the header. You definitely want to come in and you want to clean up your header and make sure it's presentable. When I click on the edit button, by the way, the header can only and the footer can only be edited on the homepage. When I click the edit button, I can change my style. I can choose a different style of header if I choose. I can change the background. I can change the size of the font, the color of the font. I can make it sticky navigation and a few other things as well. In content, this is where I'm going to load up my logo. I can increase or decrease the size of that logo and make it fit my header properly. Okay, so come in, make the changes you need to your header. Scroll down, go to your footer. Basically, everything I showed you in the header resides in the footer as well, and then 2 additional things. So let's click the edit button. The 2 additional things are this custom content. I put it in red here, but it will insert a line below your contact block. So if you have a slogan or a motto or important message you want to send or say or present, this is where you can do it. Additionally, on the footer, you can add disclaimers. They will add below here. And while we're here, I just want to show you that temporary display I created for my company. It's in use. That's what used to be. I changed my name to my company name. All right, let's move on to the third change. Again, on the home page. And again, we come back to that block that we visited previously, the most important piece of real estate, our header block. And when I click on the edit button here, I've already shown you how to change the content. The search is important. Some of our new headers, our new hero blocks don't even have these search items in here, but I can change these buttons. I can add a button. I can link these to whatever I want, or I can change that whole look to maybe an advanced search bar. So you have those choices. But what I really want to show you is the background. This is what's important. On the background, we've already talked about putting different images in for the desktop versus the mobile. But instead of a static image, I probably want to drop in a slideshow where multiple pictures will slide through and you can choose the timing on them and the transition. And again, you can do something completely different for the mobile version, or I can even put in a video. Personally, between you and I prefer slideshow over video. I think it's a little bit warmer, but having movement in this block will be very helpful. It's eye candy. And if you can put something in, I strongly recommend you do it. Now, my last change, and then we'll answer any additional questions if needed, is this whole folder, the About Us folder. This folder is for you. This is how you tell your story. And as I said, this is deciding on what page you want to keep or if you keep both. The two pages that are in the folder, My Team and About Us, I think overlap each other tremendously. I really only believe you need one. Review them, and whichever one you want to use, take the other one and just move it to hidden navigation. But we are here, that's a placeholder. And this is not a subtitle. This is actually paragraph oriented where you can put 2,000 characters and put a complete description of your product and of your company services in here. You want to tell people why they should choose you over your competition. You have an agent block in here, so you can add your agents. You also have a get informed block. The last page I'll show you in My Team is, or About Us, is please, 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 please go to your reviews page and make sure you're streaming your reviews in. Let me show you real quickly how you're going to do that. I hit the edit button. I have my edit box. I am going to come down to default. And if I'm on default, I can manually add by clicking Manage Reviews and create a new review. Or in my review source, as I said previously, I can automatically stream in from Google, also Zillow, and Rate My Agent. So if you connect these, those just automatically come streaming in. And Wilson, that's my presentation.
It was great. Appreciate you, Jason. We're just right at time, so appreciate the engagement from EXP agents. Katie, thanks so much for jumping in to EXP World and helping with some questions that came over. She was helping EXP agents specifically on just kind of nuanced questions around websites. So do appreciate it, Jason, covering the information you did today for the engagement from EXP agents. And yeah, we will see you guys next week. Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.